I'm 77 years old, and I'm not going to indulge your illusions. That thing you're grinding after every day, money, titles, a big house, an impressive business card, it won't fill you up. It never will. It's like trying to pour water into a bucket with a hole in the bottom. The more you pour, the more it leaks out, and you call that feeling not enough. It took me over 50 years to realize the finish line I believed in never existed. I'll be happy when you say that every day, like a promise, a contract with the future, something that's going to save you. But let me tell you, it's a scam. You achieve something, and instantly your mind moves the finish line farther away. Not because you're greedy, but because you're empty, and that emptiness has no bottom. You're not climbing a mountain. You're running on a machine, and that machine is designed so you never get to stop. I know where that feeling starts. I was 10 years old. Not some vague memory, I remember it clearly. Every detail. My father came home after a shift. He didn't say a word. He didn't have the strength to. His hands weren't hands anymore. They were cracked, bleeding, calloused like something worn down for far too long. He placed them on the table, and I remember looking at them and not seeing a man. I saw something that had been crushed, and the worst part wasn't the job. It was the way people looked at him. They didn't see a human being. They saw a worn-out tool, something replaceable, something not worth respecting. I saw that. A 10-year-old kid standing there, swallowing that image whole. I didn't understand self-worth. I didn't understand love. I only understood one simple and dangerous thing. If you're not strong enough, you'll be trampled. If you don't have money, you have no value. I never said it out loud, but I made a vow. I would never let anyone look at me the way they looked at him. That wasn't ambition. That was the fear of being crushed. And from that day on, I started selling myself. I worked like an animal, not because I loved the work, but because I was afraid. 60 hours a week was normal. 72, I skipped everything. Friends, time, the small moments people call living. I wasn't living. I was accumulating. I accumulated money, titles, proof that I wasn't my father. Every promotion made me feel a little lighter. Every raise made me feel like I was getting closer to something. But that feeling never lasted. It faded fast, and I kept going. I thought it was motivation. The truth is, I was addicted to the feeling that maybe this time I'll finally be enough. At 52, I had what you think is the peak. Vice president, my name in gold on the door. A corner office, floor-to-ceiling glass, looking down at the city as if I was standing above it all. If you saw me then, you'd think I'd won. But no one saw what came after. When I was alone, I stood there, looking down. Silence, no one around. And I waited. I waited for the feeling I'd chased my whole life. Relief, satisfaction, that moment when everything is finally enough. It never came. There was nothing. Just a silent void. It wasn't loud. It didn't hurt in an obvious way. It was cold, empty. It swallowed everything. I stood there, and for the first time in my life, I understood something I didn't want to understand. I had climbed to the top of a mountain that didn't exist. I wasn't chasing money. I wasn't chasing titles. I was chasing a feeling. The feeling that I was good enough that no one could look down on me anymore. And that feeling isn't out there. No office can hold it. No business card can print it. But I didn't stop, because at that point, I didn't know where to stop. The machine kept running, and I was still on it. There's something else you need to understand. I didn't just work like an animal. I lived like a bomb. I carried a barrel of gunpowder in my chest. All those years, I showed up to work looking like a successful man. Sharp suit, confident voice, decisive. But inside was a wounded kid who had never healed. Every time an employee made a small mistake, I exploded. Not normal irritation, an eruption. Every time my wife said something I didn't like, I reacted as if she were attacking me. I thought I was responding like a leader, like a husband. The truth is, I was reacting like a 7-year-old being poked in an old wound. Do you understand? The man you see on the outside isn't the one reacting. It's an older version, smaller, weaker. A child who was never seen, never told, you are enough. And every time someone accidentally touched that wound, just one spark, I blew up. Then I blamed them. I called them stupid, irresponsible, said they didn't understand my pressure, but the truth is, they were just standing there. I was the one who brought a barrel of gunpowder into the room. For 30 years, I lived like that, a walking bomb. And I called it a successful life. I lived like a bomb for so long. I started to believe the explosions were who I really was. But the truth is worse. The thing controlling me wasn't willpower, not discipline, not some better version of myself. It was a voice that never goes quiet. It shows up at 3 a.m. when there's nothing left to distract you. No emails, no deadlines, no one left to prove anything to. Just you and it. You're not good enough. You're falling behind. Everyone else is getting ahead of you. If you stop, you'll become the thing you fear most. You think that voice is what drives your success. You think it's motivation. It's not. It's a panicked child. A child who was once hurt, now trying to keep you alive the only way it knows how. By never letting you rest. By never letting you feel like you're enough. I listened to it for 40 years. Not once did I question it. Not once did I say, that's enough. I let it run my life like a dictator, and the cost was my entire life. No one teaches you this. No one tells you that growing up isn't about silencing that voice. It's about learning to say to it, I know you're trying to protect me, but I'm not that child anymore. Sit in the back seat. I never said that. I let it stay in the driver's seat until I got old and realized I had been controlled by it all along. I brought that chaos home with me. I thought I left work at the office. I didn't. I carried the entire battlefield into the living room, the dinner table, the bedroom. I looked at my wife like a problem to solve. I looked at my children like responsibilities to complete. I thought as long as I provided enough, that was love. I built a bigger house, bought better cars, paid higher tuition. I thought that was love, but I was never truly there. I was present, but not available. I was sitting there, but my mind was somewhere else, always somewhere else. And one day, my wife said something I can still hear clearly. "William, I don't need your money. I need you to see me. I need you to be here." It wasn't loud. It was quiet, but it cut deep. It went straight through everything I had built, and I didn't understand. I thought she didn't see how much I had done. But the truth is, she did. That's exactly why she said it. Providing isn't loving. Providing is giving resources. Presence is giving yourself. You can throw money at a house, but you can't buy connection. You can pay for everything, but you can't pay for someone to feel seen. I built a full house that was empty, not because it lacked things, but because it lacked me. I was there, but I wasn't there. And that slowly destroys everything. And the kids? You think they care about the size of the house? They don't. Children are sponges. They don't absorb your words. They absorb your state. They absorb your nervous system. If you walk into the house tense, exhausted, worn down by life, they don't think, "Dad is sacrificing for us." They think, "Dad is suffering. It must be because of me." They internalize everything. Your silence, they feel it. Your distance, they feel it. Your fake presence, they feel it. And they grow up with a vague sense that something isn't right, without knowing why. That's the real inheritance, not money, not assets, but a wounded nervous system passed down from one generation to the next. That's what I left behind. Not because I was cruel, but because I didn't know. But now you know. And if you keep going like this, it's no longer unintentional. It's a choice. I used to think once I solved money, everything would be fine. At 58, I paid off the house, a huge milestone. I thought that would be the day I'd finally feel free. I had waited for that day for decades. But when it came, nothing changed. No relief, no freedom, just a new fear. Now I started worrying about retirement, about illness, about whether the money would be enough. The fear didn't disappear. It just changed clothes. Do you understand that? You can't escape fear by improving your circumstances. You're just giving it a new reason to exist. Fear doesn't die. It evolves. And if you don't change internally, you'll run your whole life. I had a friend, Elle, 86 years old. Nothing impressive on paper. No money, no status, not much health left either. But every morning he sits on his porch and smiles. Not a fake smile, a light one, real. I asked him how he could be like that. He said, I spent 60 years trying to become someone. Now I'm just trying to be here. Here, not in the future, not in some when. Here. That's what I never learned. I was always in tomorrow, always at the next step, always chasing a finish line that didn't exist. And I missed everything that was real. Let me tell you one last thing. There is no finish line. There is no moment where everything will finally fall into place. There is no when that will save you. The path is the destination. If you can't live in it, you'll never truly live. Stop. Stop lying to yourself. Stop saying, I'll be happy when. You are already enough. Not when you're richer. Not when you're more successful. Right now, with all your cracks, your unfinished parts, your imperfections, you are enough. If you don't believe that, then, even if you achieve everything you're chasing, you'll end up like me, sitting here at 77, realizing you spent your entire life chasing something that was never real.